Okay, so the first thing I had to do was basically just to fix my centipede because I got a check minus in sprint forward because I didn't fix it yet. There was a slight delay on the splitting, so whenever I split, it would create a small offset, and then at the borders of the window, it would kind of go past it, but not anymore. As you can see, I fixed it basically by um, fixing the update order of the segments because the body on collision was not actually updating. So I made it so the head updates the is the last one to be updated. That's pretty much it. It's all working. Okay, so the second thing we had to do was make a HUD, and I made that into a singleton. And basically, it has three glyph lists because there's three different areas. There's the current score, the high score, and lives remaining. Then I have these functions called setScore, which just basically, whenever you call on them and you import this int, it'll update these lists. I'll show you. It'll update these lists depending on the number you put in. It'll parse that into glyphs. Same thing with the high score, and then the lives remaining is also the same, but I added one more sprite into the actual fonts, and that's just a blaster. I added that. I also changed the actual font just to account for that new change. Awesome font. So here I have cell index 43, which is a blaster image, and that's called whenever you use the pound sign. And basically the way it's updated is the actual score integer is in the wave manager because it made more sense to have the wave manager have the current score as opposed to the HUD, which is just in charge of displaying stuff. And so whenever you add to the current score from the wave manager, you actually also access the HUD and you set that current score. And whenever you set it, that just happens once, but the draw method will keep drawing that score. And the way I did the lives was again the same way. I just added that one thing, and whenever the ship dies, it decrements the amount of lives, which is also an integer in the wave manager. I have a function called lower lives by 1, same thing, and I'll show you. So whenever you add to that score, it adds to the actual display too, and I have P being kill myself, and there you go. So the sprite goes down by 1, and that's pretty much it for the HUD. Okay, so the last thing we had to do was to make a sound system, and sound manager, and I think that was the easiest one. So basically I have a singleton, and it's composed with a sound system. And that sound system, first of all, I'll do this. This is the functions that are in the sound system. So when you reference that sound system, it'll call like play blaster, play scorpion, play sound, whatever. And what that actually does is gets it gets its sound system pointer and gets the sound system pointer and then plays that sound. The methods are the same just for the sake of consistency. So that sound system is an abstract class, again, same names for consistency. If you take a real derived class from it, for example the audible sound system, you can see that it actually has those sounds and it plays that sound. It plays that sound whenever that's called on. So that's how it goes from sound manager to sound system and then plays sound. That way you can change it at runtime, which I also have. So if you take the sound system.h, I have a method called setSoundSystem, and you can call that whenever during runtime. Basically what it does is it makes all the sounds from the previous one stop. So it just calls a function which in the other in the derived classes from that base class, all it does is just gets all the sounds and does sound.stop on them. And then you delete that system because it's no longer needed because you're making a new system. And then it allocates the pointer. The pointer now points to the new system, which is brought in through a parameter. And if I show it, as you can see, all the sounds are working. I already showed the spider and everything else in Sprint 4. But if I press N, that's the way I have it set up right now. If I press N, it should go mute, so I'm pressing N now. And there you go. So you can see it's completely mute, and that's pretty much it for the sound system.